Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Effie with Any Action Sportscast here to go over UFC Edmonton, Moreno versus Albazi. But before we get into this week's card, I have to make an announcement about the channel regarding the upcoming episodes. We are a little bit late this week because we have some behind the scenes things going on with the channel. If I could get some prayer emojis in the chat, in the comments, we really need them. Shout out to my boy Martin. He's a little bit banged up right now. Everything's good, but yeah, I don't want to get too much into it. Just we're hoping that he's going to be back soon. Everything's good. It's not like anything between me and him or anything, but sometimes things in life happen, and you just got to take care of it. So yeah, prayer emojis in the comments. I don't even know if Martin's going to be watching this, but if he is, man, we're rooting for you. Or I'm sure I'll see you here soon in a little bit. But yeah, guys, kind of a tough time right now for the channel here, but hopefully we can get back to putting out videos regularly like we usually do earlier in the weeks. But this week's gonna be a little bit different. Don't have my camera, just my mic set up here. So let's go over last week's bets really fast. UFC 308, great cards. Shout out to Ilya Taporia, and still what a beast. That guy's a stud. But yeah, we had two bets, went 2-0. We had 2 units profit, 75% ROI, pretty good card for us. We had Abus's money line, Magomedov here against Bruno Ferreira, minus 140. We put 1.4 units on that to win one. We hit that. He looked good, kind of a little sketchy moment there in the second round where he got hurt, but I thought he was gonna be the rightful favorite, and he ended up getting us that dub, catching us for a unit there. Felt good about that. And then our second bet, our only bet left of the card, was Dan Ige with the points plus 3.5 at minus 125. I honestly think Ige probably should have won the fight outright, but it's always good to have the plus 3.5 on our side there with the scorecards. And so we laid 1.25 units on that to win one for another unit of profit, bringing our total to 2 units profit on the night. 2-0. Nice little card for there. It's been a little bit of a trend here. Only 3 bets in the last 3 cards. So really trying to pick our spots here towards the end of the year. But yeah, 2-0 last week, 2 units profit. And hopefully we can continue it here. It's going to be a quick episode this week, guys. Just going to give you my quick picks and thoughts on the bets. Or fights, I should say, on the card here. It's actually a really good card. Edmonton, man, they're going to get a lot of close fights, man. A lot of these underdogs are alive, in my opinion. I feel like I say that all the time, but this time I think it's true, man. It's first fight of the night, women's flyweight fight. Jamie Lynn Horth versus Ivana Petrovic. Lynn Horth, minus 225. Petrovic, plus 185. That's crazy to me, minus 225. I'm not doing it, man. I think she's going to win the fight, but dang, that's kind of crazy, man. Put one favorite here in a fight that I think is going to go the distance, which is funny because both these girls, 6-1 and 7-1, they're finishers, man. It's actually kind of rare for women's MMA. They're going out there, they're getting mount, they're grounding, pounding people out, they're finding finishes. I do think that Lynn Horth is a little bit better of a fighter than Petrovic. It should be an even fight, a lot of cage pushing in this fight. Basically, it comes down to who's going to be the more physically imposing fighter, and I think that's going to be Horth. I think Horth can win minutes in the clinch, and if she does get it down, I think if she gets on top, it's going to be real bad for Ivana. I mean, likewise, though, if Ivana gets mounted on Horth, I think it's going to go pretty bad for Horth here. But big pick is Horth. Let's see what the decision is. Minus 140 even now. Oh man, I don't want to do that. Minus 140 on her to win via decision. No, thank you. I'd rather go if I just go the distance, because like I said, they're both finishers. Plus 250 on that. If I were to bet, that's probably be my bet on that fight. But I'm gonna pick Horth. Gonna pick Horth via decision. Next up, we have a bantamweight fight, Chad Ellinger versus Cody Gibson. Man, both these guys are super old, 37-year-olds here. 37-year-old bantamweights, you don't really see that in the UFC too often. They're extremely, experienced, man. Cody Gibson, almost 32 professional fights. This will be his 32nd. He comes in as a minus 195 favorite. And I think it's warranted, man. I think Cody Gibson should be the favorite. He's going to be way bigger. Look at this height and reach. 4 inches of height, 6 inches of reach. I mean, the guy's pretty big for the division. But as far as the skill sets, man, I think they're pretty evenly matched. Cody Gibson, I do think, has the grappling advantage here. And Hellinger kind of finds ways to get submitted on the mat. It's kind of like a trend for his career. He's always getting submitted. He gets submitted quite frequently. So let's look at the odds. What's Cody Gibson submission? Plus 350. Kind of wish I would be a little bit higher on a prop like that, but I do think Cody Gibson wins this fight. Yeah, I actually do think that he should be a pretty big favorite in this fight. Never been impressed with Chad. Cody Gibson, that range, man. He's so tall and long for the division. It's going to be hard for Chad to get in close on him. I think this does go all 15 minutes, though. I think I'm going to pick here Cody Gibson via decision plus 135. Surrey City versus Garrett Armfield, another bantamweight fight here. City comes in minus 140, Garrett Armfield plus 120. I'm actually going with the underdog here, Garrett Armfield. Man, he's going to be super undersized here as well. Look at this height, 5'11 to 5'6, 72 inch to a 70 inch reach here. And it honestly probably should play out on the feet, man. City I don't foresee him going out there and taking down Armfield every round. I believe CD would want to strike in this fight. This guy's clean. He has really good hands, really fast combinations, and he can hurt Garrett Armfield, definitely. But I do also worry about CD's striking defense, man. He's getting hit quite often. We saw his last opponent be able to split his guard right down the middle. It was actually a rematch from the No Contender Series fight, well as Garrett Armfield. Man, I've seen him go toe-to-toe with Onama, and that guy's a super dangerous striker, you know, someone more dangerous in my opinion than City. And I actually do think that Garrett Armfield, even though he is getting taken down by other opponents in this fight, probably will be shooting takedowns on City. I do think that he's, you know, prime for upset here. Give me Garrett Armfield plus 120. I don't want to get cute. What's the props here? Moneyline plus 120, KO 350, submission plus 1700. That's probably not going to happen. But yeah, give me Garrett Armfield just straight out on the moneyline plus 120. Upset right there. Up next, heavyweight fight. Complete opposite of the body types of the last fight here. We have Alexander Romanov taking on Rodrigo Nascimento. Oh, Romanov actually coming in as a favorite. This line flipped earlier in the week. Rodrigo was the favorite. Now I saw him at Pick'em earlier. Now a little bit of a favorite shaded toward Alexander here. Basically comes down to who gets top position. Does Romanov get on top of Rodrigo, or does Rodrigo get on top of Romanov? I think in that scenario, I'm going with Romanov, man. I think he is a better judo. The ability to get the fight down, in my opinion, does go to Romanov. Well, Rodrigo is a black belt in jiu-jitsu in his own right. He has really good leg kicks. Striking, they're both super sloppy, super slow. Romanov is like one of the most unreliable guys in the entire UFC. This guy's coming in super fat one time, coming in shredded the next, coming in back again fat. I mean, you can really trust this guy. They had weigh-ins this morning, and he looked decent, I guess. But, I mean, minus 120 on a guy that's really unreliable. It's hard to bet, man. What are the props on this? Let's go. This fight go the distance. Minus 25 on no. So they're expecting someone to get finished in this fight. I'm going with Romanov actually. But man, this guy is super big. You know, cardio questions here. A lot of red flags for Romanov. And Rodrigo, I mean, he could win this fight and make it look easy as long as he doesn't get taken down, keeps their range. Probably does outstrike Romanov. But if Romanov gets him down, gets on top, man, it's going to look tough for Nascimento, even with this BJJ black belt. So give me Romanov, and he's going to have to do it early, man. He's going to have to finish this fight early because the longer it goes, the worse it's going to go for him. So give me Romanov to come out here, look good in the very beginning of the fight, and really capitalize early in this fight. Give me Romanov round 1 or round 2. Going with Romanov to win that fight. Up next, a featherweight fight. Jack Shore versus Yusuf Zalal. This is probably the best fight on the card, or at least one of them. Going with Zalal here. Whoa, holy crap, minus 330. That's way different than earlier in the week. Earlier in the week, I saw him around minus 250. So it looks like the market's really expecting Zalal to win this fight. That's a ton of line movement, guys. Almost a whole dollar on the line now is moved towards Zalal. But I get it, man. He's a really good fighter. There's actually a second stint in the UFC. He is a pretty well-rounded fighter, man. He's dynamic on the feet, tons of kicks, can fight out of both stances, good footwork, good lateral movement. And lately, man, he's been really finishing these guys. Coming back in the UFC, he got cut after having a tough run in the beginning, but he was super young. He's still only 28 years old. Goes out on the regional scene and takes care of business, man. He's finishing these fights, making it look easy, really showing that grappling upside since he's left the UFC. Then he came back, boom, 2 submissions on his, recent run here. Whereas Jack Shore, he's fighting at featherweight now, and I've seen him fight lower than that. He's a really small guy, kind of pudgy. Doesn't have the greatest physique, and he's super pale. He's also from Wales, so he has a 12-hour flight to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So that's not good. I think that Zalal is a better fighter, rifle favorite. But Jack Shore does have good grappling, guys. Like, he is not a slouch when it comes to grappling, man. This guy can wrestle. He has scrambles, good jiu-jitsu off his back, good sweeps. But I think Zalal can piece him up on the feet and really, add up the points here. So let's see what the decision is. Okay, minus 125. I like that way more than Zalal minus 330. I'd rather go minus 25. I actually might play that. That might be an official bet. Give me Zalal by decision at minus 125. Up next, Charles Jourdain versus Victor Henry. Whoa, Jourdain's a favorite. That's funny because everyone I talked to was picking Victor Henry. Minus 135 for Jourdain. Henry up plus 115. Kind of funny that Jourdain's coming in as a favorite in a weight class that he's never fought before in the UFC. Jourdain's coming down from 145 to 135. And he looked good on the scales. It wasn't like a tough cut. He wasn't shaken. He wasn't like sucked out. He's taking this very seriously, and he's been getting out physical than out sized, I guess you could say. Featherweight at 145, he's just too small for those guys. Those other guys are way bigger, way stronger than him. So he's gonna come down. And when someone does this, like, obviously the size is important, but man, the speed is also going to be important, man. I fear that Victor Henry, with the output that he does have, is going to be marking up Jourdain a lot in this fight. Victor Henry is a motor, man. This guy has crazy cardio, crazy output. I mean, look at this stat right here. He's landing 8 significant strikes landed per minute. That's insane. This guy does not stop. He's going to be putting out volume. He's going to be in Jourdain's face, and Jourdain's going to have to keep this guy off him because Victor is going to be pushing the pace in this fight. I'm interested to see how Jourdain approaches this fight. Is he going to grapple? Is he going to mix in some level changes, or if he just wants a 50-minute striking fight? You know, how will that look in this fight? I'm going with Jourdain actually, but I was hoping he'd be the underdog. Going with Jourdain decision. Let's see what that line is. Plus 135. Give me that. Give me Jourdain decision as my official pick for that fight. Up next, we have a women's flyweight fight. We have Ariana Da Silva, formerly Ariana Lipski, versus Jasmine Jasdavicius, and this sucks because I'm a big fan of both these girls. They've won us money big time, both of these girls. Jasmine in her last fight fighting the young up-and-comer with Tima Klein, it looked good, easy cash for us. And then Silva, you know, cashes big time against Casey O'Neill. So I've seen both these girls come in and get the job done. But for this fight, I'm kind of surprised to see Jasmine as such a big favorite. This card is in Canada, and she probably is likely the best Canadian prospect that they have in the UFC. So they obviously don't want her to lose this fight. It's an opportunity here to give her some, you know, spotlight here and really shine on a hometown crowd. But the skill sets, man, Jasmine's a very good grappler. She's a good wrestler, and what I like about her is that when she does get you down, she is making it count, man. She is not just holding running clock. She is passing, man. She is passing you to side control and landing sick elbows, if not getting some out and really landing some damage until you turn, you know, turtle and give up her neck. The thing with Silva is, man, she's actually pretty competent on her back, man. If she does get put down in this fight, I expect her to be active. I don't expect her to be, you know, having extended minutes on the mat, getting pinned. I think that Jasmine on the feet is the worst striker in this fight. I'm going with Ariana Lipski on the feet. I do give her the edge on the feet. But man, Jasmine's getting up there in age, 35 years old. It's time to go, man. You have to win this fight. Biggest fight of her life. This is going to really determine the future of her career, in my opinion. But I'm going with the upset here. I'm going with Silva, the underdog, at plus 185. I don't want to lay the juice here. I think that's a little bit much for Jasmine. What's Silva decision? Dang, it's not even that much more. So plus 300 on the decision here for Silva. Give me Silva via decision to win that fight. I think she keeps it upright and scores points on the feet. Up next, we have Ariel Helwani taking on Pedro Munoz. Pedro Munoz is 38 years old, and I thought that was super old. But Zahabi's 36 as well, you know, so like he's getting up there in age too. I'm not going to bet this fight. No way I can bet this fight. 38-year-old bantamweight, 36-year-old bantamweight. No, thank you. I'm going with Zahabi, but man, even just saying that out loud, I don't feel confident. I think this is going to be a very close fight. Obviously, Pedro Munoz, good striker, but he's been low output as of late. He's not really throwing as much. He's kind of a counterpuncher at this point in his career. He's taking a ton of damage, and I do worry about his chin. But Zahabi, for the most part, isn't that much of a power threat on the feet. I know he knocked out Richie Lang. That was kind of like a flash knockout. Like, it's very rare for Zahabi to hurt people like that. And yeah, Munoz has those sick leg kicks. It could really hurt you and really immobilize you at any moment of the fight. But I think Zahabi does enough to stay safe here, mix in some grappling and outpoint Pedro. But I do think this can be a close fight. Dang, minus 105 for Zahabi / Ariel Helwani to win via points. Give me Zahabi via decision. Up next, we have the old best prospect the Canadians used to have, the former, I should say, Mike Malott taking on Officer Trevin Giles. Mike Malott comes in at minus 340. That's insane. Trevin Giles plus 260. Going with Mike Malott here, but he's a victim of one fight, kind of giving you the narrative for the rest of your career. This guy really gassed out in round 3 against Neil Magny, a fight that he was winning, and even in the third round, he was winning that third round until he completely death gassed. You know, we hear that term used a lot in MMA camping, and I think that's probably the poster child of that term. Mike Malott's cardio, you know, can be questioned, but he's a good fighter. He's skilled, very good everywhere, very good grappler, dangerous striker on the feet. He throws heavy. But Trevin Giles is experienced as well, man. He's been in there with some really good fighters. This pick was easy for me to make, though, because one thing you have to know about betting MMA is you never bet on former police officers. They seem, for some reason, to always lose. So I'm not going to do it here. Give me Mike Malott. Actually, I'm going to go with another decision, and that's plus 300. So, man, is he going to finish Trevin Giles? I actually don't see it. Give me, fight goes the distance, plus 170 isn't crazy either. Give me Mike Malott, though, decision plus 300. Up next, we have Marc-Andre Barriault versus Dustin Stolfus. Barriault minus 200, Stolfus plus 170. Going with Barriault in this fight. Never been a fan of Dustin Stolfus. Don't really know what he does well. Kind of a mid fighter at everything he does. And Marc-Andre, same thing. Like, he's not an expert or you know, some sort of crazy black belt in one single area or another, but I just think he's the better fighter. I think he hits harder. I think he's going to be in Dustin's face, and he has very good cardio, man. This guy's going to be there in the third round. He's a junkyard dog. He could be hard to finish. He's getting up there in age, 34 years old. But at minus 200, Andre Barriault is just not a fighter that I'd be laying 2-1 odds on. Go decision. A lot of decisions on this card. Plus 165. Give me it. Give me Andre Barrio via decision plus 165. I do think that that fight goes a distance. I see it at minus 115 right now. That's not bad. Up next, Kyle Machado versus Bredson Ribeiro. Light heavyweight fight. Machado going down from heavyweight to light heavyweight. Now this will be his first fight in this weight class, and again, the guy's a favorite. A guy that has never fought in this weight class comes in as a favorite, minus 160. Ribeiro plus 135. I'm actually higher on Ribeiro than I feel like a lot of people are. I actually don't think he's that bad. I think he throws heavy. I think he hits hard. I think he's very athletic, but he's just not that skilled, man. He throws crazy wide shots. His technique isn't the best. Machado, quicker striker, more sophisticated striker, better striking defense. But man, don't sleep on Bredson Ribeiro. If Bredson Ribeiro flash knocks out Machado, I will be pissed because I'm not betting on him. I'm going to pick Machado to win this fight. I'm going to go knockout. What's that prop? Plus 200. That's not bad. Give me Machado inside the distance. I think he knocks out Bredson Ribeiro at some point in that fight in the new weight class. Excited to see how he looks. Up next, you have a heavyweight fight, the Black Beast, Derek Lewis taking on Jonathan Deniz. The Black Beast comes in at plus 140 as an underdog. Deniz minus 170 as the favorite. Going with Black Beast to win this fight. I gotta see it. I gotta see it from Deniz first. Like, I'm not gonna be laying minus 170 here against someone like Derek Lewis. I get it. Derek Lewis, 39 years old, almost 40 years old now. Basically just collecting checks at this point. It really doesn't matter if he wins or loses. He's gonna get 6 figures regardless. He's gonna get, I think like 100 grand just to make weight, at heavyweight. So that should tell you something there. But man, fans, like, they didn't put this on the card for like, a boring fight. Someone's supposed to get finished in this fight. Deniz is a sophisticated kickboxer, and he is quick, man. I really like the speed from Deniz. That's going to be a big X factor in this fight. Derek Lewis has to make this an ugly, sloppy, grinding type of fight, and he needs to land his kill shot. So it's going to have 15 minutes to do it. But if Deniz goes out there and knocks out the Black Beast, kind of wouldn't be that surprised at this point in his career. And even that's minus 125. So no shot, no thank you. I'm not paying juice on that. I wouldn't be shocked if Deniz has a little bit of a coming out party here for a lot of fans. A lot of people are going to be thinking, who the hell is this guy? If you don't watch UFC every week, but he's a good striker. He's dangerous. But I'm still going with Derek Lewis, man. Give me Derek Lewis. I wouldn't be shocked if Derek Lewis actually ends up on top of Deniz. I've seen Deniz get taken down and just look horrible on the mat. The dude skips every wrestling class he's ever had. Give me Derek Lewis. Give me Derek Lewis via knockout. That's plus 190. Kind of crazy. Up next, co-main event, we have Aaron Blanchfield against Rose Namajunas. Blanchfield comes in minus 140, Rose plus 120, going with the underdog Rose in this fight. I'll be honest, guys, I don't think Aaron's that good. I think that her wrestling is vastly overrated. This is a 5-round fight, and I don't know how many times Aaron's going to be able to take down Rose every single round. I mean, she's going to have to capitalize big time when she does get Rose down, because I don't think the takedowns are going to be there as the fight goes. Rose coming off a fight against another wrestler, Tracy Cortez, and Rose was the one actually taking down Tracy. Tracy was the one theoretically going into that fight. The typical grappler versus striker fight where we thought that Tracy was going to be the one taking down Rose, but Rose, turned the fight on its head and was the one implementing takedowns. Very surprising to see that. Very good in her new weight class here. Going with Rose, man. More experience at 5 rounds. Has fought, tougher fighters than Aaron Blanchfield. I really think that Aaron Blanchfield's grappling is getting overrated because she's out grappling inferior opponents. So give me Rose to actually pull a decision out here. What's points? Plus 180? Yeah, I like it. Give me Rose via decision. Nothing against Aaron, though, but I just don't think that she's honestly that good. And up next, the main event, here we go. Flyweight here. Brandon Moreno against Amir Albazi. I'm going, sorry, let me read the odds. Moreno minus 175, Albazi plus 145. I expected this line to be a little bit closer, but I get it, man. Moreno's been in there with the best. He's gone 5 rounds. On in his UFC career at this point. Albazi probably should have lost his last fight. And another thing that's going against Albazi is, man, you want to talk about outside of the cage, red flags. This guy had surgery, spine surgery, neck surgery. This guy was almost paralyzed. Like, you're hearing that P word, that's almost as bad as the R word. Like, you never want to hear retirement, you never want to hear paralyzed. Like, this dude, I guess he said that the doctors told him he was 1 punch away from being paralyzed, so that's just not good. But skill set wise, he's pretty well rounded. I just think he's the new generation in a sense. Moreno didn't like how he looked at weigh-ins, didn't like how he looks in camp. He looks a little bit flappy, his physique. I know that doesn't really matter, but even in his last fight, Moreno, he did not look good against Roy Val. That was in Mexico. He was getting pieced up. His guard looked really bad on the feet. He was getting clipped quite frequently. Roy Val was just able to land those punches right through his guard over and over again. And who knows, maybe that's just a showing of how good Roy Val is at this point, whereas Moreno is still one of the top guys. And Albazi really hasn't proven to be one of those guys. He probably should have lost it. Like I said, his last fight, he got gifted a decision. But I'm going with Albazi, man. I'm going with Iraqi here to win this fight. Give me Albazi to win via points, plus 225. I think that's how that fight goes. I think it goes all 5 rounds. and give me Albazi to win that fight, man. It's gonna be tough though. If Moreno comes out and puts on a clinic, wins via decision plus 125, that's probably gonna be a good bet. So, man, for the main event, going with Albazi here. But those red flags outside the cage are as red as they get. So, gonna be tough here. Quick video this week, guys. Sorry if I don't sound so excited to break down these fights. Next week we'll be back. I'll be back on camera, and obviously I'll be going in depth a little bit more with every fight. Hopefully we have our next episode out on early next week, Monday or Tuesday. But like I said, let's see some of those prayer hands emojis in the chat. Shout out to my boy Martin. He's a tough guy, and I know he'll bounce back from what he's going through right now. I don't want to get too much into it, but that's my homie. We do shows every week, and we don't just do it because we want to do YouTube videos. We do it because we're friends and we hang out, and so it's one of my best friends. So we really appreciate all your thoughts and stuff with him. So hopefully he's back soon. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.